Yeah, you should have.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to the That's Where I'm At podcast today. I have Dawn. Sorry.
I'm here.
Here she is. Sorry, I lost my place on the bio. Dawn works to help people find and maintain their ideal relationships. Dawn has board designations for hypnosis and NLP training and coaching. She also is an accredited certified EFT practitioner and EFT relationship and intimacy coach. I'm so glad you're here, Dawn.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. So I'm really excited to talk about this because I was telling you before we came on that I've done all this stuff and I just love it because we are a whole body. And I
Mhm.
felt like I needed, after my divorce, I felt like I needed more than just therapy. And so I started doing a lot of stuff for my mind to really heal my mind. So tell me how you got into this.
The funny thing is, I started out as a massage therapist and I worked with people in auto injuries and realized how much of their emotion was trapped in their bodies.
Yes.
Started reading Peter Levine's work. I did somato emotional release with craniosacral. Then I became a homeopath. Then I added tapping. Then I added home. I just kept adding and
Right.
adding to get deeper and deeper into the mind and really help people resource who they are and clear those unconscious beliefs, all the things that you know about. And how do we get this out of our body? Because it's really
Right.
impacting us at such deep levels.
Right. And how are you seeing that in people? Because I know that I've noticed that too, especially when that I do get a massage monthly and I
Mhm.
love it because I feel like it's really healing. And, sometimes I cry and all the things, right? So tell me how some people are holding on to that.
Yeah. So think about it this way. Whenever we have something stressful happen to us, our brain can't tell the difference between past, present, and future. So imagine
Oh,
one of your past relationships that was a time that you were really freaked out. If you think about it right now, you
yeah.
can feel it in your body.
Yeah.
When you start imagining what could happen when you get home or what could happen at your job or that scary thing that's going to happen on that podcast I'm doing later today,
Right.
you can feel it in your body.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when we have thoughts and emotions, we hold that in our nervous system, which then patterns into our body, which then can create symptomology and symptoms of disease.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's so true. And it's just that's amazing. I guess I didn't realize I was a speech therapist for 15 years. I guess I should have realized. I didn't realize that it was all thinking everything's happening right now, which is I guess why we feel anxiety over things that haven't even happened yet, but we're just so worried about it for the future, right? Our body's going, "Ah, it's happening right
Abs-
now."
Absolutely. And we create our reality even on what those thoughts are. So, for example, if I've been in a narcissistic relationship and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get yelled at for this.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a super healthy relationship. My brain is still going, is this safe to share? Is this safe to share? And it starts
Yes.
making up stories that actually create more of a potential for a fight or for a breakdown when
Yeah.
really we're in a place of safety now if we haven't done the work
Right.
to clear those emotions from the past relationships.
And so, what do you do to help people find and maintain their ideal relationships?
Mhm. So it looks like a few things. My core is about working with the unconscious mind. So let
Okay.
me explain what that is for some of your listeners. Have you ever driven to the store and you got there really safe and you're like,
Right.
how did I get there? Right?
Right.
That's
Yes.
your unconscious mind going, oh, I know how to get there.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to go to the store and then you get home and you're like, wait, wasn't I on my way to the store? How did I get over here?
Yeah.
That's also the unconscious mind. So, just the same way it drives us home when we're trying to go to the store, that's how it's driving our relationships, our reactions, our fears, our emotions.
Mm.
And so, what I do is I help people through emotional freedom techniques, also known as tapping,
Hmm. Hmm.
hypnosis, other healing techniques that are mind body techniques. I help them clear the emotions from their mind and body and clear the belief systems that have been put in, beliefs like that we all have as humans. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. Those things that pop up and really influence how we're interacting with ourselves, our worth in the world, and our significant others or potentials.
And so, so there's got to be ways I would guess. I haven't started dating. So,
Yeah.
um, I totally get that because it's been a conversation that I've seen around social media of like, my new relationship looks so boring, right? Because if
Mhm.
we were used to chaos.
Yes.
And so do you work with people to like write down this is what's ideal, or what you had in the past was toxic, or what kinds of things can we look for?
Yeah,
How do we
actually,
convince ourselves that it's not boring?
I actually just got released. So there's this class called Learning to Find Love. And it
Okay.
was created by a corporate behaviorist who was like, how do we hire for a CEO position at these top companies in the US? She actually created a course on how to find your ideal partner. And so what that looks like, and I just got permission because
Okay.
long story short, what we do is we look at what didn't we like in our past relationships and turn that positive. What have we liked in past relationships, friendships? We look for themes and then put those together. And we look for really what are the 5 traits that we need for someone really deeply
Hmm.
to have a good long-term relationship. And then those fears come up like, oh, no one is out there, or I'm too old for that, or I live in
Right.
too small of a town,
Right.
or whatever the fears are. We do the tapping around that. So we
Okay.
look at the traits, then we look at how are they treating us. We should have what we call king queen treatment,
Right.
that loving consideration. Like, for example, my significant other opens my car door for me, right? And he's like, I know you can. And some women are like, that's so dumb.
Right.
It took me a long time to get used to, but it's like, it's really interesting to just sit there as he walks around the car and opens the door for me and offers me his hand. Because
Yeah.
there's part of me that still goes, well, who am I to sit here? Oh, other people must think I'm a snob or whatever.
Right.
When really he's like, I love doing that for you.
Right.
Like, I love being able to guide you out of the car, to have you on my arm. So we look at, well, what ways do we want to
Right.
be treated, and also making sure we can accept that
Right.
for
Well,
ourselves.
and it's so true because I think about, people who open doors for each other or whatever, and it's like I actually like that. And I think of it as a courtesy. Same thing with ma'am. Like that doesn't bother me. Like I know they're not trying to call me old. I know that they're being courteous, those kinds of things. And so I try to take it that way because I'll open a door for somebody or somebody open the door for me. Yes, we can all walk around going, I can do that. But it's so I guess it really sometimes those kinds of things when they come up, it might be a thing about worth, right? Or your value. And so when you're working with people, do they are I guess some of the stuff that we're going to see that may come up is that worth and value because I that's something that I work with women as well is that gets to be hard and people say no it doesn't matter what I want because really truly the underlying thing is they don't believe that they are worth having anything good or a good relationship or anything like that. How does that come up for you?
So it's interesting because I've always been a very strong, independent woman. And when I was in my 20s, I was with a guy and it slowly degraded over time. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners can relate to it, where one day I
Yeah.
was climbing out a window for my own safety and driving to a hotel. Right. So,
Wow.
and then I sat there going, how did I get to this position? Like,
Right.
I work at a college, I teach, I own a business. How the heck did I get into a relationship where I'm climbing out a window?
Yes.
Right. And what I had realized what I had to realize for 3, 4, 5 years later is that it was that slow degradation of my worth that
Right.
I like outside. I was like, yeah, I'm strong, I'm independent. But something inside me was like, oh, yeah, well, I'm tough. Look how much I can handle it.
Right.
But then when I got back out into the dating world or really started doing stuff, I was like, wow, those words really impacted me at a much deeper level than I thought. So it was
Right.
almost like there were dual parts of me. The part of me that's like, look at me, I'm this rockin' business owner at the age of 24. And the other one
Mhm.
that's like, holy crap.
Right.
Like I look at how I got there. Like, what the heck happened to me? Do I really know what I'm doing?
Right.
What's my value? And so, and I think where it comes down to then a lot of men and women both, right? Because
Mhm.
yes, women are more often in narcissistic relationships, but men are definitely
Yes.
challenged with them as well. Then where do we hold our power?
Yeah.
Like, how do we get back to our power? So sometimes as a protective mechanism, we go, I'm never going to date again because I'm strong, independent. And
Right.
I'm never going to date again because I can do it myself. And of course we can, but
Yeah.
we were in a relationship because we wanted to be loved. We wanted to be
Right.
cherished. We wanted
Right.
that. So when
Right.
we do our healing, we can get back to that.
I noticed that too. I had to watch myself after my divorce and be like, okay, I don't want to overcorrect. And now I'm
Yes.
like, I'm this strong, independent woman, and I'm never letting anyone near me ever again. I'm like, hello, that's a trauma response, and I totally get it, but it's been a matter of it's been that unpacking, right? Saying to myself, I'm worth this, but really not believing it until I started unpacking some things in my past. And I would guess, that with you doing the tapping and all those kinds of things, even the hypnosis for me was instrumental because I was able to pull out some stuff from my past and go, that's why I made the choices I made. It's been going on forever. Are you
Mhm.
finding that? And is that helping your clients?
Yeah, most of what we learn in our belief systems come before the age of 8.
Okay.
So, for example, like we're in kindergarten and we've got a teddy bear and we're hanging onto the teddy bear, and some kid comes and tries to steal the teddy bear from us. And then we fight over it. And the
Yeah.
teacher comes over and goes, "Oh, honey, just let them take the teddy bear. Here's this other doll to play with, or here's this truck to play with."
Oh,
And
wow.
our mind can make up all kinds of stories about that. Like, I don't get to have what I want. Or look,
Yeah.
I get love when I give things away.
Yeah.
And suddenly our brain makes meaning of that, that then patterns how we work for the rest of our lives in our relationships and in our jobs and how much we. So sometimes, like, even though we value ourselves, it's those little unconscious parts that are driving us home instead of to the store that we don't even know are there.
Right.
That's what I really look to find with my clients. And the nice thing about hypnotherapy and a lot of the work I do is we don't necessarily have to sit there and rehash the traumas
Right.
over and over and over again, right? We can do it in
Right.
such more gentle ways than that.
And that's one of the things that I've been trying to get across on my podcast is that we're not, when you go see a professional of any kind, you're not going to go torture yourself.
Right.
You're already carrying these things around with you anyway. So why not look at them and have them not affect your life in the same way so that you can move forward with more freedom. I just know that for me, it helps me to understand some of the things that I've done, the tapping, the hypnosis, and the therapy, just talking about all the things. And it helps me understand my patterns and then what do I want for the future. And so what does that look like for your clients? Do they write down, I want this and this and this, and is that realistic? Should we be doing those kinds of things?
Every person's journey is different, as I'm
Yeah.
sure you're aware. What I do with my clients is I say, where do you want to be? What does that look like when you
Yeah.
get there?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily be like, oh, I want to get rid of this trauma. I want to get rid of that trauma. Yes, sometimes that's in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, I hate relationships, but I kind of want to be in one, but I'm so afraid I'm going to date another narcissist, or I'm so
Yeah.
skittish, or I'm so angry still, whatever it is.
Right.
Um, and so we can really sit down and see what is that really deep root, and let's shift
Hmm.
that in really healthy ways. Because it doesn't have to be, 10 years of rehashing your stuff. Like,
Right. Right.
so much of therapy, whether you're talking about alternative therapies like what I do or traditional
Hmm.
counseling, has come so far
Yes.
in working with the body. Like I always tell people, go with something that's a somatic therapy that's working with mind
Yes.
and body together. Um, Art therapy, like ART,
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the acronym right now. EMDR, tapping, but
Hmm.
also something that you can do on your own. So when you're stressed out one night or you have a nightmare or you're getting ready to go on a date, you can just breathe, get back in your
Yeah.
body, change your
Yeah.
neurology. And when
Right.
you create that permanent change, everything becomes easy.
How do you talk to people who are scared to be alone? And so then they jump into relationships quickly, or they don't take that time. I really don't even know how to direct people who are like, I hate being alone. I need somebody. And I understand that we all, I think, want connection of some sort. Though I'm good with my cat right now.
Yeah. Right.
But I've done the work where I'm okay being alone. So how do you talk to people who are not comfortable being alone? What can they do?
Well, first of all, I always honor people for where they're at. So if they
Yeah.
want If they need to be in a relationship for whatever reason, then we work with them where they're at. Okay, so
Okay.
while you're in this relationship, is this something that you're clinging on to just to not be alone? But let's work with, what is it like to be alone? What does
Yeah.
alone mean to you?
Yeah.
Where are you needing safety?
Right.
Right. And so for some people, it's being alone or not. For some people, it's an amount of money. For some people, it's living in a certain spot. For some people,
Mhm.
it's a type of career. So we all find safety in different ways.
Right.
Right. And if not being alone is their safety, well, then let's work with, how do we feel more safe in ourselves and in our
Mhm.
everyday life? So we can also choose a relationship that's healthy for us, instead of just being, quote unquote, just being in a relationship to avoid being alone.
Right. And I think that's key. It's that healthy relationship, right? And I think when we're doing the work, and let me know if you agree, when we're doing the work, then we have our value is elevated, right? Our self-value is elevated. It's easier to maybe spot those red flags, or say like, oh, he didn't call me, or he's not treating me kindly. It's easier for me to walk away at this point, especially if it's just a date or a really early relationship, and not feel as bad, because you know what your value is and what you
Right.
want for yourself.
Right. And I remind people that when you say no to someone that's not right for you, not only are you releasing yourself to the person that is right, but you're releasing them to someone that's right.
Yes.
So if you're in a relationship that you know isn't long term for you, and you're sitting there because you feel guilty because they love you, or they're,
Yeah.
but what happens, and I don't want to let them down, you're actually holding them back from their better relationship as well.
Oh, that's a great perspective. That's really good. Yeah, it's true. I guess there is somebody for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we want to go looking, mine's going to have to come find me at my house, because
Great.
I'm not going anywhere. Though the other place is Disneyland. I got to put that stuff out into the universe, because I know the right guy will find me that way. What else would you like the audience to know before we say goodbye today?
I just want them to know that no matter what they choose for their own healing, make sure it feels right for you. Like, learn something you can do on your own that's helpful and supportive, that changes your neurology, that
Yeah.
shifts your body. So whether it's tapping, whether it's a certain type of journaling exercise, and if you do find someone to work with, make sure they're the right fit.
Yeah.
Like, interview your people before you just schedule an appointment off a bio on the website, and make sure that they can really support you in the way that you need, that you resonate together.
We'll talk about that, because I've had friends who have said, I can just not go back to a second, appointment if I want. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, you're not forced to stay with somebody you don't like, because you're not going to get anywhere if you really don't like the conversation you're having with any kind of a therapist. So talk about that. Give people permission to do that.
Yes. Just like any other relationship, you want safety, you want trust,
Yeah.
and you want something that resonates. So just for a really broad example, if I don't believe in God and you do,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there as your therapist talking about God all the time, well, I said that
Right.
backwards, but you know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
doesn't resonate with you,
Right.
like, our whole conversation is going to be stilted, because either I'm going to be faking something, or I'm going to be feel pushed to do something. None of that works,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
So it's really about who resonates with your values, your beliefs, who feels like they're supporting you, but also has that boundary where it's not just like, oh, we're a friend, we're just talking for an hour forever and ever, but where you really feel like
Yes.
you're making movement forward. They're setting goals with you, right?
Yes.
Like, I set goals with all my clients. What do you want to see? Okay. And they might come in with something different, like, oh, I've been eating a bunch of chips from the fridge and I really want to not eat chips anymore.
Yeah.
Great. I can do a hypnosis session on that. How does
Right.
that align with your goal?
Right. Right.
Or doesn't it? And then if so, do we want to shift the goal temporarily or not? Like, those are conversations that one should have
Right.
in a therapeutic relationship.
I like that idea of even just hanging out and just talking the whole time, because I've had people tell me that, well, I just talked the whole time and they didn't do anything or say anything. And I'm like, but then I've had good therapists and good, alternative therapy where they actually set goals with me, and they want to know what I want for this session and for the future and things like that. And they want to make sure that everything we're doing is aligning with that. So, but I think I can resonate with the fact that if you are not confident in yourself, you might feel bad, or if you haven't been to therapy, you might feel bad about saying, "Well, we're just hanging out talking for an hour. I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it." But we're telling them
Don't
it's
even have to
okay to.
say anything. Just
Right.
cancel your next appointment and go away, right? And they may call you and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks to ghost people, and you may feel bad about that as well.
Yeah.
It's best if you can learn how to have that honest conversation of, hey, this just isn't working for me. So the next appointment is a no. And
Yeah.
I know that some people maybe not be at that place yet.
Well, and that's an easy way to say that, right? This isn't working for me, and they shouldn't pressure you. And if they do, just run.
Yes, yes.
They shouldn't pressure you.
Right.
Where can everyone find you?
So I'm actually, there's a couple of things. Unified-mind.com is my website. You can find me on all the normal social media sites. But also I wanted to do, can I do a special offer for your audience?
Sure, of course. Yes.
So I think tapping is such a valuable technique that I have a half an hour program to teach it to people online. So you can get that at unifiedmind.info. There's no dash because all
And
my
we'll put
classes
we'll
run by
put all of it we'll
unifiedmind.info.
we'll put all of it in the show
Yeah,
notes, and that they'll have it in there too.
perfect. Yeah, it's forward EFT for emotional freedom techniques self-care. So unifiedmind.info/EFT self-care. You can sign up. You can get the free class. It's got a PDF on how to do it,
That's
just
awesome.
all the places, because I really feel like people deserve love, both
Yeah.
with themselves and with another person. And so the healing is the best way to do that. The best way to get to that
Yes.
yourself.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dawn, for being here and for sharing with everybody. I really appreciate that. And guys, if anything resonated with you today, please contact Dawn and touch base with her. We'll have all her information in the show notes. Of course, go find her everywhere. And then go find us on Apple and Spotify and tell Podcast Land that you love us. So thank you so much for being here, Dawn. And we'll talk to you guys next time. And always remember, your voice matters. Bye.